Hey, welcome back to the Big Ranch Show. As always, thanks for joining me. If you could, please hit the like button down below, as well as give me a subscribe. As well, if you want to be sure you don't miss any bit of the Big Ranch Show, please hit the little bell out beside the subscribe button. That way you never miss an update from the channel. But this is going to be a different video, something that I have not talked about on this station, on this channel much. I haven't done much about it. I haven't said much about it. It's actually something until just recently when I read this article that I didn't realize was such a pervasive problem in the United States. I knew there was a problem, but I didn't know it was as big as it is. And the issue is human sex trafficking, or sex slavery, as some would call it. In this article I found from crack.com, it was apparently from 2014. I never saw it until this morning. But a woman sent an anonymous thing into crack.com to discuss her story and some statistics to go with, to outline the overall problem as well as her issue. I'll leave the link to the article down below. That way you can read it in full. But I want to make it one thing very clear. This is something that needs to end and something we need to do more to stop. I don't know if that means hiring more people. I don't know if that means more funding. I don't know what it means, but we at least need to find a way to stop within the United States, if not across the globe. Now, I know it's going to be very hard. It's very hard to stop all of it. There's always going to be some bad person getting something through that we don't know about. But we should at least strive to do our best for these people. These people are being sold as prostitutes. They're being sold to the highest bidder. In some cases, as this person points out in the video or in the article, she points out that later on she was actually sold to a gentleman, by her parents. But let's get into her. Let's talk about her just a little bit. Apparently, for her, she said it all started when she was 5 years old. 4, maybe 5 years old, she said. And one night, apparently, her stepfather decided, I'm going to do this. And he went and got his stepdaughter and had her, go downstairs where he called them uncles to pass her around a little bit. And apparently the sex didn't start right then, but there was some touching and all this kind of stuff that went on, apparently, from the sounds of her article, or what she had written. But as she got older, things got worse, and it got to the point where her family, her stepfather and her mother, who condoned it from the beginning, decided they would send her out to where she was going out to meet strange men, at all hours of the night and stuff. They have men all over, at their house all over hours of the night. And a lot of the men that were there were apparently, buying drugs from her stepfather. And apparently, according to what she had said, she tried to tell a teacher about it. Her parents denied it. The teacher gave up on it. And it seemed like, according to her, that a lot of people in the area that she grew up in, where she was growing up, where she was living, knew what was going on. Even people in the family knew what was going on, but they didn't want to say anything. They just saw it as some family secret or, something, I don't need to worry about that. But she revealed some interesting statistics and some they're really bad statistics, if you ask me. Let me read you a few of them here. Human sex trafficking, as in forcing someone into sex labor or sex acts against their will, is a business but that is worth between $9.5 billion and $32 billion worldwide annually. She goes on to give that a comparison. She's like, she gives a random comparison saying that $9.5 billion is roughly 4 times that of what the Burger King chain takes in a year. But more telling and more disheartening is the fact that recent stats found that 83% of sex trafficking incidents in the United States involved victims that were U.S. citizens, and nearly half of that 83%, 41.5% were minors, children, kids. We have to do better. And she talks about how since 2008, at least 4,000 of these kids have been freed. You know, from operations out to try to, you know, crack down on this stuff through the FBI. But there are roughly 300,000 kids in America that are either in the situation or at risk to be in the situation. We have to do more. This is just something I don't know really what we can do. I don't know if there needs to be a task force that we need to do, or is there already a task force that I'm unaware of? Please let me know in the comments. But we have to do better. Because, like I said, I'll leave the link so you can read the story in full. But this story is, I want to let you know, if you're easily triggered, this will get you. But I cannot believe that we allow this to go on in this country. I know the FBI is trying, but do we need to do more? Do we need to hire more people? Do we need to put more funding in place? Does there need to be a special, an extra special group that the presidential administration needs to put in place to stop this? I mean, come on. 83% of the sex traffickers in the sex traffic in America are U.S. citizens. 41% of those U.S. of those 83% of U.S. citizens of those in that statistic are children. This isn't accounting for the other 27% that are not American citizens here, that have been sent from other countries, that are also children and adults. You have people here, unscrupulous people here in America, who are taking children from other parts of the world, telling their family, hey, I'll provide for a better life for them. And then they bring them here and pimp them out. Or use them as their own personal sex slave. These are things that cannot be allowed to happen. These are the kind of things that we have to stop. These are one of those things, this is the kind of stuff that slips through the cracks when you have this partisanship that we have in our government, and in our Congress, in our society in general. We can't even get the low-hanging fruit like this, and we need to do more to stop things like this. So please, if you can, call your senator, call your congressman, write them, fax them, email them, whatever. But something more has got to be done. Because sure, since 2008, they've saved 4,000 kids, or 4,000 people from sex trafficking. But there are still hundreds of thousands more at risk or in the currently in that situation, where they're basically being raped of their innocence. We have got to do better for our people. We've got to do better for our children. We've got to do better for the victims of sex trafficking. Thank you. Please check back for more videos, and I'll see you down the road.